Good morning, Ems. I'm Heidi, and you're watching D.E.T.V. In this broadcast, we will talk about our high school coming back to life with the return of some on-campus student cohorts. We'll also hear from our reporter, Dom, giving information for seniors and freshmen. And finally, we will hear from David Arias as he talks about the return of sports with our athletic director, Mr. Freitas. So stay tuned because D.E.T.V. starts now. Our top story of this week is the return of limited student cohorts. As we know, most campus activities have been shut down since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. But with lower numbers of COVID-19 infections being reported, some students are now returning on campus in small cohorts. I had the chance to talk with Med Pathway and English teacher Mr. Franks about his cohort students.
Hey, Amps, it's Heidi, and I'm here with Mr. Franks. So Mr. Franks, seeing that students who are in certain extracurricular activities or even electives and classes are able to come onto campus, it gives us students and even staff a little piece of hope that things are possibly changing for the better. How do you feel about it?
I kind of feel the same way. I feel that it gives students just a little bit more normalcy. I've seen that the students that have signed up to come into my classroom, they just they're a lot more focused, I think, than they are when they're at home. They meet with me in the morning, and so they're in here just working, asking for help, and it just creates more of a social dynamic, which is something I think all the students need. A large part of school and like being on campus is the social aspect, and so I think that's why students are enjoying coming on campus if they're able to, just so they can get that social fulfillment.
I know students are hesitant to come onto campus. So what are some safety measurements that you are taking inside of your class to ensure that you and your students are safe?
Absolutely. Well, obviously, I have students in here right now, so I'm wearing a mask. That's one requirement that us teachers have if you're joining an on-campus cohort. You must have a mask and wear it at all times. Obviously, if you need to take like a drink of something or you bring a snack, it's fine. But obviously, keep it on for the entire time you're here. And also, all of my desks are more than 6 feet apart. As I spent an afternoon just making sure they were all as far apart as they can be. With that, I can only fit 13 desks in my room, as opposed to normally fitting 30 plus students. But that's just some of the things that we have to do. Our custodial staff is really amazing here. Us teachers, we let them know what classrooms are being used and when they're being used. And so, because students come into my classroom Tuesdays and Thursdays, at some point after hours, the custodians will bring in this machine that they turn on. It takes, I think, about 5 minutes. I'm not here, so I don't know the precise time. But they turn it on, and it sends out like this kind of fog or mist in the room, and it completely sanitizes everything. So they would need to keep a schedule of when teachers are having students in their classroom so they can do that. But just as an extra safety measure, they gave us like a huge pack of, actually you can see it right behind me on my filing cabinet, a huge pack of microfiber cloths and some disinfectant solution. And so as soon as my students leave, I keep track of what desks are being used, and I spray them down and I clean them. And then we have our typical stuff. We have hand sanitizer close at the door. So we're taking all these procedures. I know that at like the higher level, if for some reason something were to happen, because obviously life goes on outside of the classroom, if a student or even a staff member were to test positive, because we're supposed to take like a Google form as a screening to let us know, hey, check your temperature before. I believe that's something they do in main building when students come in. if you're feverish, let us know because we're going to send you home. If you've been in contact with anyone the past 2 weeks that's tested positive, let us know because that means administration can kind of, reach out and do that contact tracing to say, hey, be careful, take 2 weeks at home, do school there or teach there. So there's a whole lot of different precautions on so many levels.
I'm really glad that you, as well as our staff, are doing all these things to make sure that you guys and us are safe when we go onto campus. Students are struggling doing online. Do you think by students coming onto campus, it is bettering them?
I think so. The students that come into my room, I see them focus the entire time. I think it's just there's less distractions. There's a teacher there, even though they might not be able to help you with all subjects. But it's, what's the word for it? There's that accountability. There's a teacher in the room that's watching what I'm doing. Me as a student, and so I'm going to want to continue working. It's just a different environment for your mind, and so I think that's probably the most helpful part.
Yeah, being at home, it gets really easy to get distracted. So I think being in class with the teacher, it makes you more engaged in school.
As we are still doing online distant learning, it is still important to keep track of important dates and activities in our DHS community. Here to tell us more is our reporter, Dominique Alcantar.
Hey Amps, it's Dom. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a few important events that you should be marking your calendars down for. Seniors, if you've ever gone through a major obstacle course that you would like to share about, the Anthony Brasua Success Award is now accepting applications. The deadline for that is April 9th. This is another opportunity for a scholarship. Seniors, the Latitude 36 Outdoors Club is offering two $1,000 scholarships to seniors in Tulare County high schools. The requirements to apply are a senior who will be enrolled full-time in a 2-year or 4-year college for the 2021-2020 school year. You must have at least a 3.0 GPA, attend a high school in Tulare County, have an interest in nature-related activities, major or job aspirations, and cannot be a member of a member of the Latitude 36 Outdoors Club. The application is due on March 1st. This is your free chance to attend Fresno Pacific University for almost free. There is a presentation on February 19th at 10 a.m. This is a major opportunity for students who would like to attend a 4-year college that are still waiting on financial needs. That's all I have for this week, Ems. Make sure you're checking your emails for daily updates. And have a happy Valentine's Day. See you next time.
Thanks, Dom. Finally, many of you have been interested in the return of DHS sports and the possibility of a season this spring. Last semester, we had a chance to talk with Mr. Freitas, our athletic director, about the future of DHS sports. This week, our reporter, David Arias, spoke again with Mr. Freitas to get an update on all things Emperor sports.
What's up, Emperors? We're back here with a recap interview with the athletics director, Mr. Freitas. Hello, Mr. Freitas. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, let's just get right into it. So we see all these sports. What sports are currently back in competing and everything, practices? What sports are up and running again?
Yeah. Right now we have a majority of all of our sports that are practicing, but the sports that have gotten clearance to compete in the purple tier are cross country and track, which we're going to start with cross country first. And then we also have golf, boys and girls golf will be competing in the purple, as well as boys and girls tennis, along with swim. So our swim team just recently got back in the pool and they're starting to condition, and we're looking to start early March for all of those sports.
And is there a specific website or anywhere we can go to find these dates of when we have competitions or anything for the athletes?
Right now, the answer is no. I'm working on solidifying all of the schedules. We have the league schedules for most of those sports. Now we're just dialing in the preseason schedule.
Yeah.
With that, there's a lot of travel restrictions and whatnot, so we're trying to make sure we stay within the county for our competitions in Tulare County, or we schedule contests with schools that are in bordering counties.
Yeah. Yep. And so for the games that are going to be scheduled, what are going to be the guidelines for those? How are those going to be like played out and everything, rules and everything?
Yeah, right. That's been a moving target throughout this entire process, and it'll continue to evolve. But right now, it looks like there probably won't be fans allowed at most of the contests. But again, that could change at any moment. The biggest thing is distancing, self-screening. So if kids have, temperatures, any of the symptoms, we ask them to stay away. We're probably going to ask them to mask up to and from the games. During competition, it'll be an option. But a lot of the same guidelines will be in place. During that.
And then so for all the people, for all these newcomers and freshmen, how do they go up to the field and say, I want to play football or I want to join the swim team? What is that process like?
That's a great question, and I'm sure a lot of the freshmen have that same question. I feel like most of them have reached out to the coaches, whether it's via email or call or just messages from the bulletin, and had contact with coaches. But if not, they could feel free to go on our athletic website or our high school website and get the info there, or call my office to get the information. But to start, any freshman or newcomer that has not already done so would need to take care of their physical first. And again, this information is on our DHS athletics page, and register on our Family ID website, which stores all of their medical history, medical information, and emergency contact info.
Okay, and for away game, just another recap. Transportation, is it still going to be like how it was last time, where not really any bus, like not a lot of people can go on the bus as much as encouraged on for like getting a ride?
Yeah, we're working out all the kinks with transportation as well. As of right now in the purple tier, we still anticipate to take 14 kids on a bus per bus,
14.
Which would be okay for most of those sports starting out because a lot of the team sizes are smaller. But we're still working out a lot of the details, because if we move into the red tier, which we anticipate hopefully soon, that'll probably take some of the restrictions away as well. So
all we can do is hope now.
So
this pretty much concludes the interview, but is there anything you would like to add, just to tell the students anything?
Yeah, I just want to encourage all of you, if any of you have ever thought about going out and competing in any of the sports or even starting out on the practice squads to get involved, I highly encourage you to do so. This has been a tough year on everybody, and we know how much all of you crave that social piece and social interactions with your friends. Many of our student athletes here, that's the highlight of their day, is going to practice, interacting with the coaches and their buddies, and then also traveling, competing on the road, all of those little things that we've missed this year. And we know how important those things are to you. Our coaches have prepared for this moment. They're excited. So we know how much the Emperors are excited, all the student athletes. So again, I just encourage you, if you're thinking about coming out for a sport, please do so. You could stop by my office here at the Aquatic Center or call my office 595-7224, and I could help you get connected to your sport.
Thank you, Mr. Freitas.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for watching D.E.T.V. I'm Heidi Nunez, and I hope you all have a happy Valentine's Day this weekend.